I was checking for the sound studio.
Yep, we can hear you. You sound
Checking.
great.
Let me knock on my iron shirt.
Yep, that's
Got
perfect.
that?
Nice. How are you doing today, Lee?
Hey, doing good, Chen. I,
Awesome.
I got to the studio. I have a nice hot cup of tea. We get to do some iron shirt, and I get to see you twice today. So
It's
it's a
amazing.
good
It's
Wednesday.
that sounds like a great Wednesday. Yeah,
Right
if I
on.
if I do say so myself. Nice. What kind of tea are you drinking today?
I don't even know yet. I haven't even taken my first sip. They made it for me. I sat down.
Okay.
It's a mystery pu'er. I'm gonna guess though, unblended.
Okay. Can you tell the
Just
different teas by taste?
I can. I
Okay.
can. I'm just that good.
It's how long does one have to drink tea to be able to do that?
That's that's not that long. It's like 15 years.
Okay. Not that long in the grand scheme of
Yeah,
things. Cool.
yeah. In the grand
Yeah.
scheme, exactly.
That's half of a standard mortgage, right? Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Oh, love
Well,
it.
welcome to this free introduction to Iron Shirt training today, everyone. We're going to kick things off pretty quickly here with a nice introduction to Iron Shirt. This is in preparation for our Iron Shirt course, cohort actually, that's coming up and starting on Monday next week. So if you want to hear more about that, we'll be talking about the course after this introduction. If you're not interested, you can take off afterward. We will be taking some time to answer questions. First, what we're going to do is I'm going to hand things over to Lee, and he's going to talk about the course, or not talk about the course. He's going to talk about Iron Shirt a little bit, and then we'll do a sample practice. All of that should take around 30, 30 to 45 minutes or so at the max, probably closer to the 30-minute side of things. And then I'll talk about the course, and then we'll answer questions. We'll only be doing questions from the chat. So if you're on the live stream or you're here on Zoom, you can drop your question into the chat, and our team will take note of those questions, and I will be asking them to Lee so we can get to as many questions as possible. And we will send out a recording afterward. I think that it usually goes out the day afterward, so you'll get a replay tomorrow morning at the latest. And yeah, if you need to leave at any time, you can drop a question into the chat and I will still ask it to Lee, even if you're not here, and you can catch the answer to the answer to your question on the replay. We include the Q&A section of these in the replay, so you can watch it there. And I think that's all of the housekeeping. I can't think of anything else. Can you, Lee?
No, not really. I think it's going to be a fun day. You guys are going to get to try an iron shirt practice and see if this course is right for you. I mean, this practice is very, very energizing. So if you are looking to boost energy, strengthen your body and all of its many systems, this could be a great self-energetic cultivation.
Yeah, I've heard lots of positive things from students in that it can really help with arthritis and joint pain.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
cool.
It helps with this iron shirt training is it's broken down into all these different body systems. So the first one is like structure, alignment, internal organs, and then we work with tendons, ligaments, and sinews with all the connective tissue, and then we work energy into the bones and the joints. So that almost covers everything.
Almost everything.
Almost.
Almost. Well, all right. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with the housekeeping. I'm going to turn things over to Lee, and I will see you back here in 35 minutes or so. So take it away, Lee.
All right. Thank you, Chen. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and let's get ready to talk about some iron shirt. Iron shirt is it's an ancient practice. I mean, this is one of the earliest forms of Qigong practice. And, it's all about building energy. Qigong is a cultivation of internal energy. And what do we use internal energy for? Well, we use it for just about everything. So Iron Shirt is originally was a practice done by the Shaolin monks. And the Shaolin monks were high level practitioners, both of Qigong, martial arts, and deep meditation practice. So this was sort of the foundation to build strength and power in their bodies for a variety of reasons. I mean, one, to sit in meditation for long periods of time required energy and alignment to source energy, the earth, the universe above, nature all around, and even their fellow human beings. Unfortunately, way back in China, what would happen, a warlord of the local area would come through and want to take land or take people or, do something destructive. And the Shaolin monks were tired of, sort of getting bossed around. So they developed these really powerful martial arts training tools like Iron Shirt. I mean, Iron Shirt practitioners can do some absolutely incredible things. And when you train Iron Shirt from the martial arts perspective, people can punch you in the belly as hard as they can and their hand just kind of bounces off, much like, hitting a tire that's full of air. It's kind of extraordinary when you punch somebody and you just feel your hand bounce off. You're like, whoa, what was that? It's an odd feeling. And when somebody punches you and you've been training it, you feel like, wow, I feel invincible. I feel strong. Well, we're not going to train Iron Shirt to that kind of level, but we're going to train it so that you feel more invincible in, let's say, your immune system. It really builds a lot of energy for immunity so you don't get sick as often, or your immune system is just so much stronger that when you do get sick, it's only for a little while. You'll notice that, whereas before you might have gotten sick for a week and felt run down for 2 weeks, these kinds of trainings can cut that all in half. Maybe you don't get sick half the time, or when you do get a cold, it's only for half of the time that you normally would feel ill. So these kinds of things tend to happen with trainings like Iron Shirt, and it's quite magical. Your just body feels stronger. It's also deeply healing to physical ailments like joint pain. It can strengthen the density in our bones. There's very specific training to deeply nourish the internal energy of the body. Now, when your energy's stronger in your body, it manifests as a stronger physical vehicle. Your physiology just gets upgraded in these really wonderful and powerful ways. These are just some of the, I would say, side benefits of Iron Shirt. This physical strength and prowess that really gives us a lot more energy. So you also have this feeling like, hey, I have reserve power. I have energy stored up in here when I need it. For example, I notice it a lot when I'm traveling and I would normally be jet lagged. And my jet lag is very minor, even though I've traveled halfway around the world, say. I notice it when I'm parenting or having, when I had young kids. I needed extra energy because all of a sudden, the kids would get up 2 or 3 times every night and then I'd have to work all day. So I was like tapping into this reserve power that I felt like I truly had. And that's what our Qigong practice is designed to do. Just give you that extra power and ability. Where this is different, it is not as, let's say, flowy as some of the other courses that we taught. There's not a lot of just relaxing flows where we're moving our bodies like water. This is more like, I would say it's more of a wood element, deep dive. We're standing like a tree and doing breathing exercises and powering up our system in these postural trainings. Sometimes Iron Shirt is called postures of power. Postures of power, because you're powering up your system just by holding a few different postures. And it's extraordinary to feel that I'm going to hold this position for 3 to 5 minutes. When I bring my hands down, all of a sudden your body feels lit up with energy. So there's this way in which you're going to be lining yourself up, getting yourself in alignment to the energy and the forces that are around us. Like the gravitational pull of the earth. When people say, oh, I'm out of alignment, you go to a chiropractor, oh, you're out of alignment. It often signifies that you've been holding your body out of alignment with what? With the force of gravity. So gravity is constantly pulling you downward. And if you like stick your neck out, you're out of alignment because now you have to use all these muscles in your neck to support yourself or to go against this pull downward. If you line yourself up and the bones stack on top of each other, all of a sudden your body isn't getting your body isn't having to use extra energy to stay out of alignment. So it's really the difference between, let's say, swimming upstream in a strong current or letting the current just take you downstream. I mean, even when you're swimming upstream, the current, if the current's strong enough, you're still going downstream. You're just using a lot of energy in your body. If you relax and find alignment, you can guide yourself with the currents in a much more effortless way. So in this course, Iron Shirt 1 is about your internal organs, and it's about alignment to gravity. Iron Shirt 1 does a lot of work with breathing practices as well. So breath work to tonify, which means to strengthen the internal organs, and to bring yourself into alignment with the force of gravity so that gravity and the earth energy actually charges up your body. It's like being plugged in. All your devices need to get plugged in, right, folks? So you need to get plugged in. So how do we plug in? We plug into source energy. That's the earth and the universe. That's Iron Shirt 1. Iron Shirt 2 is really interesting. At first, I didn't care for the practice because it's a little bit challenging to do. But after a little bit of practice, it was one of my favorite practices because it is so energizing. It just builds the energy in the body like nothing I've ever practiced. Now, what you do in Iron Shirt 2 is you pulse the body. It has a rhythm to it. And you move the body in a rhythm, either with the breath or with the heartbeat. And it's designed to help to strengthen your tendons, your ligaments, and your joints. And so if you know physiologically, a muscle turns into a tendon where it connects to the joint. And so when we expand our bodies and then relax our bodies and expand and relax like a pulse, you can pump a lot of circulation to the tendons. So really good for the tendons of the body. And another deeply powerful chi cultivation technique. Iron Shirt 3, the third part of the course, is really about strengthening the bones. There was a very well-known book in the Qigong world. It was called Bone Marrow Neigong, the classic of bone marrow washing. So as people know, bone marrow is deep within your bones. And when you strengthen your bones, you strengthen the bone marrow. And when you strengthen the bone marrow, you'll also strengthen red blood cell and white blood cell production. So this was a very powerful technique to work with the bones, recognizing that your bones are like crystals. They're not just solid, they're porous. They're crystal-like in their structure, so they can hold a charge, they can hold energy. And when you energize the bones, you're energizing the very deepest part of yourself. So what is the deepest part? If you sink inward from skin to muscles to connective tissue, you come to the bones. Bones and bone marrow are the deepest aspect of ourselves. So this last module is going to energize and use the bones as a way to store and hold more energy in our bodies. This practice, bone marrow practice, is also very, very good for conditions like osteopenia, osteoporosis, arthritis, joint pain, and anything to do with the circulatory system because it really nourishes the blood. So you could see with each of these three modules, you're going to really strengthen and tonify the whole entire system in a very profound way. And this practice isn't just for your physiological health. This practice is an energy cultivation. All these physiological benefits are really side effects of this deep, nourishing internal energy cultivation. So what I'd like to do this morning is give you a sample, a little taste of what this practice is all about. So let's do that now. I want you to be able to stand up. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of movement because I'm going to show you these postures, but stand up, clear your space. I'm going to move the chair and the stool here, and we'll get ready to practice. All right. Are you ready to get your iron shirt on? This practice was also called golden shield. Like we have this golden shield of protection around our bodies. The other benefit that I didn't mention is that your energy gets very strong. The field of energy around you gets strong, and you'll feel much more protected from life's emotional stresses. Other people's negative energy, other people's stress, other people's worries and anxieties. Often we feel those and take them on as our own. Whether we read the news or around family members or friends or work colleagues, we often pulled off of our center because of other people's energy. Well, iron shirt, you're going to be like a strong tree. Even when the wind blows, those roots are deep. The tree is resilient. You don't get blown over. You feel really strong within yourself. All right, folks, iron shirt. Let's start with just a little knocking on the door of life. And I want you to feel the body, the structure of the body. Knocking on the door of life is done like this, returning from the hips and the waist. And just relax your upper back, your neck, and your shoulders. And let your hands and your arms just knock right across the rib cage, across the back, across the abdomen. Take a nice deep breath. And feel the top of the head lifted towards the ceiling. Good. And a nice warming up of the spine, activating our internal energy and our meridians. Slow it down. Slow it down. Very good. Now, iron shirt, we often will start right here at the center, at the belly center. So put your hands here, take a couple of deep breaths. And just notice your breathing. How are you breathing this morning? Or whatever time it is in your area. Just how's your breathing? Are you feeling the breath deep into the belly? Does the breath feel freed up? Does it feel restricted? Long, slow breath through the nose. See if you can bring the breath into the lower abdomen. Now, one way to strengthen the body's energy is to knock on the body, right? So when you knock on the body, we call it activating chi. The chi comes to the surface and makes our immune system stronger and makes our body's energy system stronger. So find your navel and just knock one hand over the other, right over the navel. Okay, and this is our center. This is called the place of original chi. This is where you started from. So we start here at the center when we're doing some iron shirt practice to wake up the energy in the body. Now try going right below the navel. And then come above the navel. And just notice, are any of those areas tender? Go below the navel and above the navel. Yeah, the solar plexus, come right here to the solar plexus, often can feel a little tender. This is a sensitive area because of how we hold and sort of digest our emotional energy or emotional stress. And so when we're knocking on the solar plexus, below the chest, so here's your chest, come below, it's still below the ribs. That's where the solar plexus are. Often it's a little tender. Now let's go in a big circle. I want you to go down the left side and up the right side. Down the left and up the right to get energy to all the internal organs. So Iron Shirt, this first module is going to be really good for digestion and the digestive organs. Come up to your chest and let's knock on the sternum. Good for the lungs and the heart. Good. And hold your right arm up and then knock with an open hand under the ribs, under the armpit onto the ribs. And go downward. So start at the armpit and then work your way to the hip. Armpit down to the hip. And other side. Lift the arm and slap through the rib cage from the armpit down to the hip. And when you knock again, it's waking up the body's energy. There's lots of acupressure points here, lots of meridians. And then come here to your kidney area, knock here. Up and down. And relax, and relax. Okay, now just feel the energy awakened in your whole torso and abdomen. You're going to feel it in your arms and meridians as well. Just close your eyes. Notice how your body feels. Take a slow, deep breath. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's do a little shaking. Just bounce into the legs, into the heels. Shake your arms, pump the wrists, release and relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale with a long sigh. Good, nice deep breath. And we pump. Very good. Nice deep breath. One more time. Slow it down. Slow it down. And relax. All right. Iron Shirt 1. There's a bunch of postures that we hold and line ourselves up to the force of gravity. So just notice when you put your arms to your sides that the body's being pulled downward, right? Bodies don't just float up into the air. No, we're pulled down by an energy. Energy, magnetism, this force of gravity, it pulls us down towards the earth. So what we want to do is line our physiological bodies up with that gravitational pull, and it will charge you up. So first position that's called lower embracing the tree. I want you to have your arms round. And first thing to do is to just take your elbows and bring them away from your ribs so that the armpits are open. In the Iron Shirt training, they say it's like a pigeon egg under your armpit. A pigeon. I don't know why it's a pigeon egg specifically. A chicken egg is a little too big. An ostrich egg, right? A hummingbird egg is too small. So a pigeon egg, just the right amount of space right under the armpit so that the chi can flow circularly through the arms. So arms round. Now go ahead and just shift your weight back towards your heels so that your feet feel light. The toes aren't off the ground. Just a little weight shift towards your heels. And now relax your tailbone. Just feel a relaxation through your lower back and your tailbone. So the weight of your body goes mainly down towards your heels. Okay? Now we're lining ourselves up with gravity. Now take some deep, slow abdominal breaths. Breathe into your belly. In through the nose and out through the nose. Good. And just feel, as you hold this position, it can be challenging. It can be challenging to hold postures because you're you're using your body in and creating a relationship to gravity. So we have to do little micro movements. Maybe we have to shift the weight a little bit forward. Maybe we have to relax the tailbone a little bit more. Continue breathing deep. Now use your mind. I want you to imagine that you have roots extended out through the bottoms of your feet, and you're connected to the earth below you. In just the same way, a tree will draw nourishment from the earth up through the trunk. I want you to draw nourishment from the earth into your body. So just imagine you have roots extended out through the bottoms of the feet, and you're plugged in, you're connected. And this is truer than we might even imagine, because you are connected to the earth. You know, the trees actually have physical roots. We have more energetic roots. Now, breathing into your abdomen, I want you to feel like the energy from the earth is coming into your belly center, right into your lower abdomen, and charging up your internal battery. The battery of the body was called the lower dantian. Dantian means elixir field or lower reservoir. So you're just charging up the energy power of your body by breathing into the belly. Good, and just slowly relax your arms down to your sides. And your body is going to start to build a surplus of energy. All right, now, next position, let's do embracing the tree. This is where we bring the arms up. Now, I want to give you the option to modify anytime you need to. You come back into lower embracing the tree, because it's going to build a lot of strength in your shoulders and your upper back, probably that you're not used to. So we're going to have to modify. In the beginning, you hold the position as long as you can. The shoulders start to burn a little bit. You slowly drop into this position. So feel free to do that if you need to. Right now, embracing the tree. Now, the tree now, your structure of your body connected to the earth below. So again, shift weight a little towards the heels. Relax tailbone down into the heels. Feel connected to the earth. Now that tree, what does it do? It starts to grow. Feel the trunk of the tree like your torso, strong, growing upward, and the top of your head is lifted towards the universe. The crown of your head pulled up, so your chin goes back and in, and it's lifted towards the universe. Now breathe deep, in through the nose and out through the nose. See if you can make your breath about 4 or 5 seconds long as you inhale, and 4 or 5 seconds long as you exhale. Feel connected to the energy that's all around you. You know, trees live such a long life because they're plugged into source energy. They're always connected to the energy below, always growing up towards the energy above, and then taking in the energy from all around them. Now, in the beginning, these postures are challenging. They're challenging to hold for any extended period of time. So the course is going to challenge your body. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to help all these supportive muscles that create alignment within you strong and resilient. Take one more deep breath. And then slowly bring your hands down. Slowly bring your hands down. And let's feel the energy in the body. Let's feel the energy just moving through the meridians. Do you feel some energy moving down the arms to your hands? There's a way in which this practice makes us feel very grounded. This grounded in the moment, like unshakable. Like life might get real busy, things coming up, but we feel grounded and solid in where we are. All right, great. Now I want you to just float your arms up. Inhale. And then exhale. Float the arms down. And take a nice deep breath. Inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, float the arms down. Let's just allow the energy that we're starting to cultivate to circulate as we do a little flow. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Inhale, float up. Exhale, float down. There's going to be a greater amount of energy in your body, so we do some flows in between to just stir that energy into the system. Good, and now let's just float the arms up like this, palms face down. Hands about shoulder height, elbows just a little bit lower, and bring your elbows towards each other and open your fingers. Palms facing towards the earth. Okay, and now when you inhale, I want you to expand your body like everything gets taller and bigger. And then when you exhale, the hands soften, elbows relax, knees bend a little bit. And then you inhale, stand a little taller. It's like when you inhale, all the joints expand and get bigger. And then when you exhale, everything deflates and sinks in. We're going to call this full body breathing, like all the joints in your body are breathing. Exhale, everything softens, relaxes, knees bend. And inhale, expand the fingers, stand a little taller, nice and slow. Exhale. If all the joints in your body were like little balloons, when you inhale, they expand. And when you exhale, they relax and soften. Inhale. Exhale. Full body breathing. Like every single joint expands as you inhale, and every single joint relaxes as you exhale. Do it a few more times, building chi in the body, feeling this connectedness, that every joint is connected to your breathing. Hands drop down, lower, embracing the tree. Inhale, exhale to the belly, and breathe into it. Okay, feel those roots connected to the earth below you. Feel that the body is stronger, more aligned, connected to the energy below and above. Long inhale, long exhale. Now relax your hands down. Inhale, float the arms up. And now when you exhale, I want you to squeeze the muscles of the arms. Just squeeze the muscles and spread your fingers. Good. This is called bone breathing. Inhale, everything is relaxed. The arms just float up nice and relaxed. Now, spread your fingers, squeeze the muscles of the arm, and we condense the chi into the bones. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, and then inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, squeeze as you come down. Squeeze the muscles. Now do the same thing with the legs. Inhale, let chi enter the body. Now when you come down, squeeze the muscles of the legs and the arms. Squeeze the muscles of the legs and arms. Everything relaxes as you inhale. Exhale and squeeze. Very good. Inhale, everything relaxed. And squeeze the muscles of the legs and the arm. Nice and tight. And then relax and inhale, floating up. And squeeze the muscles. That pushes the chi into the bones. When the chi goes into the bones, it's going to energize the bone marrow and energize the blood. Good. Deep breath. And squeeze. One more time. Nice deep breath. Everything relaxed. Everything tight. Good. And then inhale. Let's pull down the heavens. And exhale. Everything relaxed. And just a wonderful flow of energy moving through your body. And a deep breath, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Bringing the hands down to your sides. Notice how your body feels. Just check in with yourself. Legs straight, eyes closed. Feel the energy. Your whole system powered up with more energy. Stronger from the bones to the joints, to the internal organs, to the tendons and the ligaments. Energy flowing through your body. Feeling a sense of being connected to the earth below you, connected to the universe above you. Bring hands over your belly. Take a nice deep breath. Centered, grounded, balanced, and energized. All right. Shake it out a little bit. Shake out the legs. Shake out the arms. Ooh, feels good. Once we get started with our practice, it's hard to stop. But I want to talk to you about the course and, just share where you can get more of this kind of practice. This practice was sort of quote unquote secret teachings of the Shaolin masters because they're powerful. They really build a lot of energy, strength in your body. When you feel powerful, it's harder, like we said, to control your minds or your bodies. You feel solid within yourself. So hopefully you feel a little energized after that practice. It was a short practice, but even a short practice does the trick. It gets your body energized in a really profound way. All right, go ahead and sit down and let's bring Chen back and we'll have a conversation, show you all about this wonderful course.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, everyone, for participating in that practice. I hope you enjoyed it. we are going to transition into talking about the upcoming Iron Shirt course and its cohort starting on Monday next week. If you need to take off or you're not interested in hearing about the course, you can take off now. We'll send out the replay tomorrow so you can watch the replay of this. It is a paid course, so if you're just like you just want to do the free stuff, that was the free stuff. Now we're going to talk about the course and then answer questions. So if you need to take off, you can drop your question into the chat and I'll get that over to Lee as well. And I think that's all of the housekeeping. So thank you all so much for coming, and let's dive into what this course is about and what you get and how it works. Give me 1 second to make sure I have all of my screens set up. Dun, 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 dun. I will say, if you are currently doing the teacher training because you recently enrolled in the teacher training, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and just recommend you probably stay focused on the teacher training and wait until you complete that before really diving into this material. So I know we have a lot of new teachers recently. All right. Share my screen. That one. Lee, can you see the cue
I sure can.
in the slides? Awesome. Let's do it. Cool. This over there. And let's go. All right. Here we go. Let's talk about the Iron Shirt online course, May 2024 cohort. This cohort starts on Monday, May 13th. And we'll talk about all the details about how the course works, how the cohort is different than the course that you can just buy on the site at any time, and answer questions and all of that. So if you do have questions, drop them in the live stream chat or drop them in the Zoom here, and our team will keep track of them and I'll feed them to Lee and get them answered for you. So if you do know that you want to enroll, you can go to this link here. It's qigo.ng/iron24. We'll post that into both of the chats, so you can click it as well, or you can type it into your address bar yourself. I'll also bring this up before I finish, and we'll email you this link as well. So that's qigo.ng/iron24, and that'll take you to the page where you can enroll if you would like to do that. This course is really good if you want some help preventing or relieving arthritis, you have weak joints, or you want help addressing osteoporosis. It'll
That's a tough word, Chen.
It'll help you speak clearly, give you iron voice as well. And this is also, though, a really good course if you want to build kind of like a shield against negativity. Oftentimes, most of us aren't going into battle like the Shaolin monks might have been doing, or doing a lot of intense martial arts. I know I do jujitsu, so I like to do some of these practices in between my training bouts or when I'm doing a competition to help keep my body safe. I feel that my joints are a lot less achy when I integrate Iron Shirt into my routine. But you can also do this practice and use this practice to help build up sort of an energetic shield against the energetic negativity. Oftentimes this might take the form of the news, maybe an energy vampire, if you're familiar with that, someone that feels like it just takes a lot of energy. Sometimes I love my in-laws, but sometimes I need that kind of like space to have with them, keep them over there, you know? So this practice is really good for keeping that sort of energetic shield against that energy that feels like it's taking something away or sucking something. This sort of gives you that space from that experience, from those things. And it also really helps strengthen your tendons and bones. Again, like I do jujitsu, and I often find it's a lot of strain on the tendons and the bones and the joints, and I just feel like I'm so much more put together and less achy when I'm doing this practice and integrating it in to my training routine. And this is also, if you're looking for a little bit more of a probably young or kind of like masculine style of Qigong, you want something that's a bit more intense, this would be one of those practices for you. I wouldn't say that it's the most intense practice that there ever was, but it definitely is coming from a more martial style. So if you want something with that a little bit more intensity, this is a great practice for you. Lee, is there anything you want to add into any of what I just shared or change?
Those are good points. Yeah, I mean, it's strengthening. It's one of those great tonifying practices, meaning that it's just going to build energy in your body. Yeah, and it has a little bit more of that martial context and strength building, conditioning. But at the end, it's really interesting because it builds more yang qi. When you have more yang qi, you have more ability to get up and go and do all the things that you want in life. But yang turns the yin, so eventually what happens is it does give you that really nice relaxation when you want it. So it's a practice that I would say don't do it in the later evening because it does give you energy. Morning is a great time to do this practice. Morning, during the day, late afternoon, no problem. But right before bed, don't do this kind of practice because it does, as you were saying, Chen, give you that yang qi. So it is a great tonic for the system. And that's why Chen was talking about it as a yang energy building. So for everybody, this is something that we can all benefit for. If you say to yourself, wow, I could really use a little bit more energy in my life, this practice really does that, and it does it really well.
Thanks. Also notice I don't need more energy, but I like having a lot of energy, so I still do it.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Cool. So let's go into what you learn module by module throughout the entire course. I think you talked about this a little bit, Lee, but let's go into it a little bit more in depth. In module 1, you'll focus a lot on standing meditations. This is really to help protect the body from injury and disease. Module 2, you dive into tendon Neigong. This is to strengthen and heal your tendons, ligaments, and connective tissues. And in module 3, we'll focus on bone marrow Neigong, where you're reviving and strengthening the bone marrow, and this can potentially help reverse the effects of aging. We'll also go into these a little bit more in depth. So in module 1, in the standing meditations, we're going to be focusing on the theory and practice of Iron Shirt Qigong. So a lot more in-depth lectures and information about the whole practice as a whole than what we did today. So we're sort of laying the foundation of all the theory for the rest of the course here in module 1. From there, we'll start to build up the energetic shield, the iron shirt around you. A lot of what we're doing in module 1 is building that foundation. So you're getting lots of the exercises, the breathing patterns, and the visualizations that you're going to be building on in the later modules. And this is really helping to train the immune system to withstand the blows of disease and sickness. And also, I kind of view this as like, it's not just the immune system in the traditional sense that we think about the immune system, but also the energetic immune system. And that sort of going back to what I was talking about earlier, building up that energetic strength so that you're also can withstand the negative media, someone that's trying to take a lot of energy from you. It's easier for you to have boundaries and say no to things, or also to say yes to things that you know are good for you. It gives that a little bit of extra strength to follow through with the things that you know you should be doing, like drinking the green smoothie, for example, some stuff like that. So, Lee, anything that you would like to add and or expand onto module 1?
I mean, drinking that green smoothie is always a good idea, right? And I like what you just said. I know we're making a bit of a joke, but it does keep you on track with putting into practice what you know to be true in your mind. A lot of things we have in our mind, like I know I should be doing this and I should be doing that, but I just kind of don't have the energy to follow through with actionable steps. This training really gives us the discipline to follow what we know to be true in our minds. It's a really interesting side effect of this practice to bring more energy into the system, to stay in alignment with our path and stay strong in who we know we are to be true. So I like that. And the immune system benefits are really, really wonderful. I mean, I think I've seen it just even in my own family where, the kids are sick and, my partner's sick and friends' family is sick. And I'm just like, I feel fine. And I know this is a side effect of my practice. And I try to tell you guys, we should just all practice more. We should practice more. And it's really true that your immune system just takes a big boost from practices like this.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. All right. In module 2, where we'll focus on tendon Neigong. This is where we start to really work on things that help prevent and relieve arthritis and joint pain. The idea is that we're sort of working with the joints to push the acids out of push the acids out of them so that it reduces swelling and reduces inflammation. This can help heal damaged tendons and joints without doing a lot of strenuous movement because it can be kind of difficult if they're already swollen and inflamed. And I think one of the main things that you learn are the 8 key tendon Neigong movements. These help improve the circulation of qi through the whole body, but specifically target your tendons and ligaments. Lee, is there anything else that you could share on that for people?
Yeah, and these are really interesting movements. I think when we look at how qi moves in the body, it moves through the body in vibration. That's where you feel the body tingling or buzzing, but it also moves through the body in pulsation and rhythm. Every physiological thing in the body has a rhythm to it, like breathing is an expanding and contracting, the heartbeat expanding and contracting. This part of the practice works with the rhythmic qi in the body to expand and contract, to pulse the body as a way to expand and contract, especially the tendons and the ligaments around the joints. But the whole body benefits by becoming more coherent because the whole system is in rhythm. So it's a really interesting type of Qigong practice. It's very different than our flowing practice, but it has a great effect of powering up the system.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah.
All right. Module 3, bone marrow Neigong. This is where we're working on reversing the effects of aging by infusing your blood with qi and working with the bone marrow. This also helps nourish your internal organs and glands and can help reduce the effects and prevent osteoporosis. We'll be using practices like bone breathing and compression. These practices have been known to help regrow bone marrow, strengthen your bones, and also help with osteoporosis. Finally, by doing all of these practices, you're helping to support your body's natural detoxification process by nourishing the blood to help remove those poisonous toxins from your internal organs and glands. The blood is really the carrier of all of those things and will help move it out. So the stronger your blood is, the more toxins it can carry out of your body. Lee, again, is there anything that you'd like to share here?
Yeah, and this one, as you saw in our practice today, guys, it's when we're squeezing the body. And when you squeeze the body, squeeze and relax, it has a pulsation to it, but we're really targeting the bones and the bone marrow. And this is the deep energy of the body. So the bones were often considered like another storage area of qi. And when we can really utilize the bones, we really build up a surplus of energy in the system. So when we think about it, yes, the side effects, the benefits are strengthening the bones, preventing osteoporosis, building strong chi in the blood. But really, what I love about this practice is the immediate effect of feeling more energized and feeling like we have a deep reserve of energy.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, Lee. And that is the overview of what's inside of the course. We'll answer more questions after we go through the rest of the presentation. You don't need much experience to do this course. There is a lot of standing because there's a lot of holding postures. So if you have some basic Qigong experience, you should be fine going through Iron Shirt. It may be a little intense for the first little bit, but after you get through the first couple of weeks, you should be fine for the rest of the course if you're just starting out with Qigong. And again, there's a lot of standing in this course. I think you can modify some of it to do while seated, but it is a lot of standing postures. So if you're uncomfortable standing for long periods of time, you may have to modify some of the things or have a chair nearby so you can go sit down, kind of regroup, regather yourself, and then come stand back up and participate again. But again, you can kind of modify things to suit your body and your needs. But there is a lot of standing in this one. Lee, I don't think there's any other qualifications that people need. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, you said it right, Chen. I mean, this is a standing course, so there's less, let's say, stretching and movement. Although I do throughout the course just bring in flows, bring in movements, bring in warm-ups, because that's what I do and what I like to do. But the main thrust of Iron Shirt is standing, getting really comfortable in our bodies, standing, our relationship to gravity and the energies that are around us. So there's some parts of this practice that are really designed to make you a little uncomfortable and then to relax into it, so that the training really is, how can I be comfortable even in something that's challenging? So, as it translates to life, how do I get comfortable even in this circumstance that's uncomfortable? How do I relax into it? Whether it's finances, whether it's relationships, it's just like, hey, there's something uncomfortable. Life is uncomfortable in many ways. This training helps you to be comfortable in whatever position life puts you in. So it has a great translation to life, being able to stay strong, be resilient, and find comfort even in challenging circumstances. So I love it about that. And like you said, Chen, these postures are strong. And if you need to, you do it for a couple of minutes and sit down and relax, and then come back and join the class again. You're going to have access to this forever. So you don't have to do the whole thing the first time through. You can take little breaks. You can ease into it. That is absolutely fine to make it well suitable for where you are now.
Great. Thanks, Lee. And yeah, you will get lifetime access to everything after you go through, so you can come back and participate in this. Go through anything that you liked a lot whenever you want to. All right. So how the course works, this is a pre-recorded course that you're going to progress through on a set schedule, module by module. We take 2 weeks for modules 1 and 2, so 4 weeks total. If that wasn't clear. And then for the last module, we take 3 weeks, so it's a total of 7 weeks through the entire course. And we have a set schedule that we're following for it that you can follow along with, or just kind of wait until everything unlocks and do it on your own time. We include 2 live Q&A calls with Lee, so if you have questions throughout the course, you want to know about a specific piece of form or like a specific movement or how something works, you do still get interaction with Lee, and you can ask those questions and get that kind of critique and feedback that you might need. And we also provide practice parties. These are where we're watching the routines that are inside of the course with everyone that's going through it. These are entirely optional. You don't have to attend them. We've just found that it's a really good way for everyone to get together and practice, and makes it far more likely that people actually complete the course that they signed up for. It's very important to us here that you actually get the sort of result that you're looking for, or you get the benefit of the practice, and this isn't just another online course or program that you sign up for and then stop a week into it. We found that these structured progressions through the courses and the practice parties provide a nice container for everyone going through the course to actually complete it. And it makes it far more likely for people to complete the course rather than stop partway through. So again, these practice parties are entirely optional and they are not recorded because we're just watching the content that's inside the course already. And after everything is unlocked for you, you get lifetime access so you can go back and review things whenever you want to. So again, let's look at these practice parties. What are they? This is where you get to come and practice with the other students. We generally have 3 throughout the week. We stagger the time of them. They generally happen on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, and Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific for this course. The reason we stagger the times is because we do have some people that are in Australia and Europe, and oftentimes the Pacific timing in the morning or the afternoon doesn't work, or the evening doesn't work. So we try to make it so at least one of those times could potentially work for you, but you don't have to go to those to complete the course or go through it. They're entirely optional. Again, you can participate as much as you want. You can not come to them for 1 week and then come and participate the week after that. It is really up to you and how you want to, the level of interaction that you want to have with everyone in the course and practice that you want to have with the other students. I think that the team that provides those, they stay on a little bit afterward and let everyone unmute so you can hang out with everyone and chat with students, chat with the other students as well, ask questions, get to know everyone. It's a great time. And you might even be like this guy that's being held up by spears if you really do this practice.
That is some good iron shirt right there.
Right?
Is that what you're guaranteeing, Chen? That if people do this course, you can do that spear trick?
I know I think that might be not a good idea to guarantee that. So
we call that advanced acupuncture.
That is extremely advanced, yeah. That's great. Yeah, again, these practice parties are they're optional. You don't have to to do the course or enroll in the course. You don't have to go to these, but I do recommend it. It's a great place. It's great to practice with the other students. There is a slightly different feeling when you're practicing alone versus you know that there's a group practicing with you. And there's the schedule that we are following for this course. I say we generally follow this schedule because there are holidays, there are some scheduling conflicts that we have. Most of the time, this is going to be the schedule. I don't think that there's very many conflicts for this course. So sometimes we move them a little bit or cancel one because it's a holiday. But I really don't think there's very many for this. And the cohort begins on May 13th. That's when you get access to Module 1, and then the cohort ends on June 30th. That's a full 7 weeks. And if you do everything in the course, it'll probably take you about 5 hours a week. There's some lectures that you're responsible for watching on your own, and then there's the practices. So we recommend that at a minimum, you watch the lectures on your own time, and then you do the routine that we're practicing that week about 2 to 3 times. That's why we have the 3 practice parties, because it's a good amount of practice for you to actually integrate the theory from the lectures that Lee talks about that you're watching on your own time and the actual application of that theory in the routines. So it takes about 5 hours a week if you do all of that. But you can shorten that by speeding up the videos if you're like me and want to get through the lectures really quickly, or you can reduce the amount of practices that you're doing. I would probably try to keep it to around a minimum of 2 routines a week just to get the most out of the course. So in total, what you get when you enroll in the Iron Shirt course for this cohort, you get the entire Iron Shirt Qigong form. that's taught through Lee teaches it throughout the entire course, and then there's a final video that goes through the entire thing. That's what we're watching in the last week of the course. It's a great full practice, very powerful. You get lifetime access to the entire course after everything is unlocked. It includes over 9 hours of content, so it's all pre-recorded, and you'll get access to all of that so you can review it whenever you want to. You also get access to our invite-only online community. This is on Facebook. You don't have to have Facebook to participate in the course. This is only if you have Facebook and you want to chat with people in between the practice parties, get to know everyone. This is only for the people that are inside of this particular cohort. So you'll know that anyone that's in there is also participating in this cohort as well. And you may see them in the practice parties. Again, this is an optional thing. You don't have to have Facebook to participate in the course. You also get 2 group Q&A calls with Lee. These are live. If you can't make it to one of them, all you have to do, if you can't make it to one of them, but you still have a question, all you have to do is send your question into support before the Q&A call, and we'll make sure that Lee answers your question, so you can still get your question answered even if you can't make it to the Q&A live. And then we'll publish the Q&A, I think, within about 48 hours afterward, so you can watch the replay of that. And that'll be available as part of the course and your lifetime access forever as well. And then you'll also get up to 3 practice parties per week, depending on the week. Again, I don't think there's any major holidays or anything happening during this course, so we should get the full 3 practice parties every week. All right. This course is a one-time investment of $347 US. If you've already done the course and you would like to participate and get access to the practice parties and Q&As, you can enroll for just $47. You should have an email with a coupon code. Make sure that the coupon code and the discount is applied before you enroll. Otherwise, we'll have to go through the whole refund process. To get access to all the practice parties and the Q&A calls with Lee, that's only $47 for you. If you are a video class subscriber, you don't have a discount for this one because it's already a completed and recorded course. We give discounts on the live things when we teach them for the first time. So I know that'll be a question. And as with everything that we do, you have a guarantee to back up your purchase. You can enroll now and you have until June 14th. This is 30 days from the start of the course to decide if you want to actually continue or not. So you can participate in almost the entire course and still ask for a refund. This is a great deal. And all you have to do is send an email to our support team and they'll issue you a full refund. Just email them by June 14th and they'll help you out with that. We want to make sure that you are getting what it is that you thought you were getting and that you're actually enjoying the practice. Sometimes people join a course and they start doing the practice and they realize this is really not for me and it doesn't work for my body and I'm not going to ever use this. That's what this guarantee is for, to make sure that it's actually something that you find is helpful for you. All right. And last slide, if you would like to enroll, this is the link to enroll. We'll post this into the chat, and that link is qigo.ng/iron24. If you are an alumni, please make sure that your discount code is applied before you enroll. And also please don't put the coupon code in the chat here. That is only for alumni. Deborah, I'm not sure off the top of my head when the Q&A calls are. I can go get that information for you in a second, once we transition into the Q&A. All right. I think that's it. We'll send you this link in the email that goes out tomorrow with the link to the replay as well. So thank you. And Sav just posted the dates for the Q&A calls. The first one is May 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific, and the second one is June 27th at 2 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Sav. And I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. Stop the share. There we go. Thank you all very much. Lee, anything you want to add before we transition into more questions?
Yeah, no, great stuff. And it just brings me back to how we shaped this course and how well it came out. I was really happy with how it came out in terms of, Iron Shirt 1, 2, 3, and then putting it all together. Just making this very intense, strong practice, very digestible and accessible to everybody. Mixing in some stretches and some flows to make it assimilated into the body. And it just feels great. It's just a practice that feels great. It's going to challenge you a little bit, but ultimately it's going to make you feel strong, powerful, and energized.
That's great. Thanks, Lee. And I think someone was asking if this course is geared towards a male audience. Do you feel like it's mostly a course for the dudes?
Because we have such a strong female audience, it has a little bit more, as you said, just masculine energy to it. But the women that take this course feel strong and powerful. So I would say it's for everybody, absolutely for everybody. It just might spark a man's interest because of the macho context of martial arts around it. But really, this course isn't designed for martial arts. It's for health, wellness, energy cultivation, strength, and power. So it is for everybody, male, female, and all of us human beings. If you're in a human body, it's for you.
That's great. Thanks, Lee. All right. And if someone's in the teacher training, when do you think it would be a good time for them to add this into their repertoires? Like, should they finish tier 1 if they're not tier 1 certified yet? What do you think?
It's a great adjunct to a teacher training, because usually in a live teacher training that I taught before, I would integrate Iron Shirt. You'll see in the 5-element part of the teacher training, there is Iron Shirt position. So every element has a standing posture. It's not a bad thing to do in conjunction if you have the time. It would support and complement. The teacher training is 16 weeks. This one is 7 weeks. If you have the time to invest a couple hours into your teacher training and your Iron Shirt, you could do it together. Otherwise, finish up your teacher training or towards the end of your teacher training, and then add the Iron Shirt. But it is really designed to be complementary to a teacher training practice.
Nice. Thanks, Lee. And Diana's asking if what you're teaching, this Iron Shirt form that you're teaching, is it a modified form of the original Iron Shirt form? What do you think?
The original, like way back when? I guess so. Yeah, so it is modified because the intention is different. I'm modifying it based on the intention that we want to use this practice as a cultivation of energy for health purposes. If you were going to do it to actually take blows where someone is punching you, you would still do this practice. You just then work with partners. When I did the Iron Shirt for the martial purposes, we'd have partners hitting us with different objects like fists, bricks, bats, sticks, rattans, things like that. Eventually you can get up to, like you saw in the slide, the Shaolin master with the swords. I would say you'd have to really work closely with a teacher in person to do those kinds of trainings. But this is the precursor to all of that. It gives you the strength and the power and the energy building. And then you would just now train with a teacher to do the martial part of the practice.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good answer, I think. And Yes, if you are traveling some days and you can't make it to some portion of the dates that I mentioned, you can definitely catch up, Mary, or if you don't want to participate in any of the live things or any of the dates, you can enroll. You can still enroll and participate. Lo and N, we're not doing video questions today. We're just doing chat questions. So if you have a question, you can drop it in chat. And there's another question that I wanted to answer, which was around. Well, let's do this one. There are, because we're talking about the immune system a lot, Lee. I think some people have conditions where it's not a good idea to boost the immune system, such as MS,
Mm,
or they can't raise their white blood cell count. Is
right.
this course and what they're doing in this course, would it be safe for them to do? What do you think?
Yeah. That's great. And that is a really great question. And this raises the question about autoimmune issues. So, it's like, oh, my immune system is, let's say, hyper vigilant. Maybe it's doing something that's too strong. It's attacking certain parts of the body. And this really raises the question that we want the body's intelligent energy system to be really awakened to what is me and what is not me. Qigong helps with that. Qigong absolutely helps with that. And just because you're strengthening your body's energy system doesn't mean that it's going to strengthen that part of you that's confused about what's me and what's not me. It does make your body stronger. It doesn't make the part of the body that's stronger that's out of balance. So there is going to be a way in which the body's intelligent system kind of wakes up to itself. This often happens because we have too much stress. The immune system gets hyper vigilant and does extra things that it's not supposed to. So a Qigong practice can really help to clarify the energy of you and not you. And I think this practice would do that. Try it out. I would say just train this practice in the beginning nice and easy. Don't push it to the point where you're super uncomfortable in any of the standing postures or anything. Just nice and easy standing postures, breathing, all the bone marrow stuff. So it's just going to fortify your body's intelligent energy system. So I think it would be excellent for any autoimmune issues, white blood cell issues. It's going to be really, really good for all of that. It's going to strengthen your energy system so that your body's intelligent energy is very clear on what its job is to do.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. And Chelsea G is asking if this practice is good for highly sensitive people. She says, I am a highly sensitive person looking to protect myself from other people's energy. Will the Iron Shirt practice help, or is there another practice I should do instead?
No, Iron Shirt practice is going to be excellent. That is really a great design of this practice. I know that it works well for that. There's other things that are also good, like Buddha Palm is also good, but I think Iron Shirt is like a great first step. I would say do Iron Shirt, and then if you wanted to do something similar but a little bit different, Buddha Palm would be a great next step. Yeah.
Cool.
And Chen, the other thing about the question before, just folks, remember, this is a course that's self-paced. You don't have to do those practice parties. Those practice parties are designed to just, hey, if you want an opportunity to practice with everybody, we make that really easy. We do the same routine 3 times a week. You get to practice with fellow people going through it. But if you can't make a practice party, just practice on your own. Practice on your own. It's great to come to the practice parties, but if you can't, you're traveling, the time doesn't work for you, just do a practice on your own when it's convenient to you.
Well, thanks, Lee. And well, we have a couple of interesting questions. Shamanth is asking if we think that Iron Shirt would help with erectile dysfunction. What do you think, Lee?
Yes, it improves blood flow. I mean, that is all there is to it. So blood flow, circulation, especially in the Iron Shirt 1, we're doing something called packing. And you're packing chi to the belly, so it's going to be good for all the internal organs. Part of that packing process is squeezing the pelvic floor. So you squeeze the pelvic floor, you drive the energy to the belly. All the internal organs benefit from that increased circulation, including the reproductive organs. Now, depending on what the root cause is of the problem, we have to address that too, but it does improve circulation tremendously to the internal organs and the pelvic floor. So it's going to be good for erectile dysfunction, prostate issues, even cramps or gynecological problems for women. It's going to have a lot of good circulation for that lower dantian area.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. And what about, I think we talked a lot about the benefits of Iron Shirt for the joints. How does it affect things if you have metal replacements, metal joints, metal hips and
Yeah. I mean, it's the same, the joint's still there. You still want to benefit the whole body. You want to open up the connective tissue, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles. You want to be in alignment. Even more so, you want improved circulation happening in your body so that your body adjusts to that new piece of equipment that's within you. So no problem and definite benefits.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And Susie from North Carolina is asking, she says, I'm in my 70s. Can Iron Shirt really improve my alignment after so many years?
Yeah, and not only alignment. I mean, it's going to improve alignment. It's going to improve circulation of energy, bone health, joint health. So, it's great. I think if you're in your 70s or 80s and you're in good shape, great course for you. If you're in not so good shape, then I would say just take it slow. It's a great course to just ease your way into it. Take it slow, go through the practices. This is a practice that will serve you over a lifetime. So you don't have to get it all at once, all in the next 7 weeks. Just take it easy, get a few of the postures, repeat it, get a few more postures, and it'll all come together. To get the benefits of this course, you don't have to do every single posture, every single routine. You're going to get benefits like right away. And wherever you are, whatever your alignment is, you're going to get improvement to that alignment because your body, we're going to start to work with it and work with your muscular structure. And it's incredibly important for people in their 60s, 70s, 80s to really keep their bodies moving and keep that energy circulating for optimal health and longevity.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. And is there any difference between Douyin and Iron Shirt or Buddha Palm and Iron Shirt? Can you talk about the difference? Like what makes this practice unique and how it's sort of different from these other practices that we have?
Yeah. And they're quite different. Iron Shirt and Douyin are really different. Douyin is going to be more of a stretching practice. In Douyin, there is some postures, but we're really looking to stretch the muscles. And in Douyin, we're also doing a lot of floor work. So core strength, floor work, stretching the spine. A great course, but they're really quite different. In fact, I would say they're opposite. So they are synergistic. Iron Shirt and Douyin would go really hand in hand in terms of having a complete practice. Iron Shirt's going to be much more stationary, much more postural oriented with breathing practices. And then Buddha Palm is similar to Iron Shirt, except the postures are quite different. So both of them are postural training systems. In Buddha Palm, we're going to be focused more on using the hands to create a healing effect, both on ourselves and on somebody else. And in Buddha Palm, we're going to be working much more with the acupressure points. So we're going to be doing like in Buddha Palm like this, working with pressure points as a standing posture, where with Iron Shirt, we're mainly working with more internal energy systems.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. And someone asked earlier if there's a deadline for enrollment. There is a deadline for enrollment in this cohort. That's next Thursday, May 16th. That's the last day that you can enroll in the cohort and get access to all the practice parties and Q&A calls and stuff. And then we'll open enrollment again in the do it at your own pace, on your own time, just regular version of the course a couple weeks after that. So you can still enroll whenever you want to. It's just we close enrollment for the cohort May 16th. The reason for that is we like to keep the cohort as a nice container. So after those doors close, we don't allow anyone in, just so that you know that the people showing up to the practice parties and in the Facebook group are the people that you're that are in the course with you for that entire period, and there's not a bunch of new people coming in. So you can enroll at any time after that. After we open enrollment again, you just won't be joining this particular cohort with the practice parties and the Q&A calls. I also don't know when we'll do another cohort for Iron Shirt. It probably won't be until next year. We will do another one. I just don't know when. We like to space things out a little bit. Otherwise, it just gets very repetitive for everyone. So I hope that helps clarify. And Lee, Nella is asking about atrial fibrillation and arrhythmia. Wondering if Iron Shirt might be helpful for that.
Right. I would say just be cautious, because in Iron Shirt 1, we're doing some really intense breathing exercises called packing. And it's fine to do. You just want to make sure you're packing down, not into the chest. So I would say if you have heart conditions, take it easy on the first training and then some of the breathing practices. If you get the technique right, it's going to benefit the heart, because you're going to really strengthen the diaphragm, which strengthens the aorta and the blood flow through the abdomen. So it takes pressure off the heart. Iron Shirt 2, where we're doing the tendon pulsing, is again very beneficial to the heart, because you're making the body help to circulate the blood by other mechanisms other than just the heart. AFib and arrhythmias and stuff like that can be caused by, high levels of stress, not a lack of sleep, how much caffeine we're intaking, or a combination of all of that. So I would also say, we have some very specific courses like Qigong for a Healthy Heart to help with those things specifically. So I would say do that as well as your Iron Shirt practice. And in Iron Shirt, just make sure you're breathing properly into the lower abdomen when we're doing those intense breathing exercises, or just skip those breathing practices altogether if it feels like you're unsure. But otherwise, it would be absolutely fine.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. And let's see. Lots of questions about bone health, osteoporosis. I can't say it. I still can't say it.
I said on live TV. I remember I said osteoferocious. It's really good for osteoporosis. So you're doing just fine, Chen.
Thank you.
I did that on a PBS show. So, yeah. On bone health, tremendously beneficial to bone health, especially the third module, but even the first module, weight bearing exercises and deep breathing that we're going to be doing. This whole course is going to be extremely beneficial to the bones and the joints. But really get into that third module and do the bone packing and the bone compressions and the bone breathing. There's some of the meditations in there that really use the mind to help to strengthen the bones. This is a great one. This is Bodhidharma's practice called bone marrow Neigong. Bone marrow and bone breathing practices to strengthen your bones. So it's ideal for bone health.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee, for that information about osteoporosis.
Classic, right?
Yep. I might have to intentionally mispronounce it so that I pronounce it correctly, and then I might get it.
Just reverse psychology on it.
Yep, I'll do that. Carolyn is asking how Iron Shirt, this course is different than the workshop that we have. We don't have an Iron Shirt workshop, Carolyn, so I'm not sure which workshop you're talking about. If it's Postures of Power, I think there are some correlations, but it is different content.
Hmm.
How is Iron Shirt different than what we taught in the Postures of Power workshop, Lee?
Right. Yeah, and that's great. I mean, Postures of Power is just a short version of what we're going to do in this. And the content's is a little bit different. There is some overlap. But if you have Postures of Power, this is a great launching pad into this bigger course of new information plus a lot more than you learned in Postures of Power. And maybe Carolyn was just thinking, hey, you guys did Iron Shirt before. This is the Iron Shirt course with just these added features of practice parties and Q&As and doing it all together. But this is the Iron Shirt course that we did before. Now just put together for you guys in this cohort. And then we did Postures of Power. Yeah, I think it's just a continuation of that and a much more robust knowledge base than that smaller workshop.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. And Teresa asked earlier, how do I perfect my form or get corrections if I'm doing this online? The best way to do that is to continue to practice. And you can also set up a mirror to critique yourself if you're really interested in form, to watch yourself as you practice. Or you can come to the Q&A calls and get a critique on the Q&A calls from Lee as well. I think those are the best ways. You could also record yourself and post it into the Facebook group and ask for feedback inside of the Facebook group. That you'll get that from other students. You can also record yourself and then watch the recording and critique yourself. There's lots of things that you can do to work on the form outside of it being live or in person. Lee, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, and it's a really viable question, especially as we move online to these kinds of practices. But your body knows how to align. Your body will start to create more alignment from a felt sense, and that's a really good skill to have. Like a tree doesn't need corrections from the other trees. It knows from an internal felt sense how to drop down into the earth and how to grow up towards the sky. So you're going to develop that internal felt sense from the inside out. And yes, what Chen said is great. Just get some feedback from other people. But there's not a lot of complex movements in this form. So it's going to just be continue to stretch into your own internal alignment and feel the power and the improvement through the progression of the course.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. And someone is asking over on the live stream if this course will help them stay active if they're turning 90 in 3 months. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. How great. And yes, indeed. If you're turning 90 in 3 months and you're considering Iron Shirt, you're just like an inspiration. So I think it's a great thing to bring into your life. I would say modify when needed. Do a little bit here, relax, sit down if you need to. Do a little bit more. It's a great adjunct. It's great for posture and building strength and resiliency in the body. If we did do a qigong for seniors, that would be a good one. We did qigong for better balance. If you have some of those things with the Iron Shirt, all the better. It's not the only course to choose as a 90-year-old, depending on how physically fit you are. There might be something better or more appropriate, but I think doing an Iron Shirt training is going to work your breathing, your bones, your structure, your alignment, and build that resiliency in the system.
Cool. Thank you, Lee. And yeah, there's lots of questions about, like, is this good for spinal stenosis? Is it okay if I have Lyme's disease? What would you say, are there any conditions that someone might have where this course would really not be a good idea for them to do?
When I would recommend not doing this course might be like severe psychological issues. Sometimes there's better courses if somebody has bipolar disorder, going through a lot of like PTSD, high levels of stress in their life at this time, because this is a practice of strengthening the body's energy system. And in those cases, when you're dealing with a lot of, let's say, emotional turbulence, it's better to purge, to clear this energy out before starting an Iron Shirt type of course. So that would be one. Pregnancy, don't do this course if you're pregnant. I would say there's better courses, stretching, Dao Yin, other things to do when you're pregnant. Lyme's disease, sometimes with people that have chronic fatigue, this course will be good because it'll build energy, but you might want to just go slower than we are going in the course. So go through the course, but really take it easy. If you're really depleted, with Lyme's disease, chronic fatigue, it will build some chi, but I think maybe something like the Rise and Align workshop might be better, or we did one on fatigue and Qigong for immune system, or even breath work. Those could be good to just help you build energy in a slower way, because this is just a real infusion of energy. And if you're really depleted, sometimes it's too much too fast. So it's not a bad choice. Just if you're really depleted, just take it easy and build into your practice, nice and slow.
That's great. Thank you, Lee. Okay. Yep. Lots of questions about postures of power, breathing practices. And Susie is asking, what is the advantage of doing this cohort as opposed to doing just doing the course on my own, basically? So the advantage of doing the cohort is you get access to all of the practice parties and the Q&A calls. If you just decide to do the course on your own time, that is totally fine, and you are more than welcome to do that. You just won't get the practice parties or the Q&A calls, which we, again, like I was saying earlier, we found those really help because they help you complete the course, because they provide that structure that is really, really helpful when doing something that's virtual to actually complete everything and follow through with it. There's no price difference. So really the cohort, if you're considering it, I would just join the cohort, and then you get access. Even if you go to like a couple of the practice parties, there's really no difference in the price. There is no difference in the price. They're exactly the same. So it's really like you're getting a lot more by participating in the cohort versus just doing it on your own. Even if you end up doing most of it on your own and you just come to one of the Q&As, you're still getting the added benefit of that Q&A versus just doing it all on your own. So you'll only get more with the cohort versus doing it by yourself. So yes, Daphne, if you purchase Iron Shirt, the Q&As, everything that we were talking about today is included in your purchase. And I did go over the practice party timing is, I'm not remembering off the top of my head. I can pull it back up. Again, I think it's like 1 p.m. It's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, and Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific. So that is the schedule for the practice parties. Again, those are optional. You don't have to participate. You don't have to go to those. You don't have to be able to go to all of them. You can just go to a couple of them. If you need to take a week off because you're traveling or something like that, you can just do the practices or the routines in your own time. You can take a pause for a week and then catch back up. It's really, you can kind of structure it the best way that works for you. And Lee, is there anything else that you'd like to add about this course before we start to close things down?
I think you covered it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The practices are simple in terms of intricacies in the body, but powerful in the results that they give. Yeah, I think it's, Iron Shirt 1, 2, and 3. Some of my favorite practices. Energetically rich, and it's a great synergy between this kind of practice and more of a flowing practice that we might do, let's say in the video class subscription or some of the other workshops. It really helps to create the structure of the body so that you have more flow and more energy. And when you do your flowing practices, they're deeper, they have more energy behind them, and they're stronger and more and much better aligned. So yeah, I think try it out, guys. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. See if it's for you. Try the Qi on, and I think you're gonna like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lee. We have one final question, I think, from Beatrice has been asking for a while and we haven't gotten to it. What is the difference between Iron Shirt and Yi Jin Jing?
It's good. I Ching Jing has a lot more tendon type of practice, and silk reeling kind of thing. But you know, the practice of Iron Shirt is it does work with spiral energy and tendon power and things like that. So there definitely is some crossover, especially in theory. But the postures, the movements are going to be different. Although the theory and some of the intentions behind it might be similar.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lee. All right, everybody. That is all the time we have today for questions. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Lee. Again, we're going to post the link if you want to learn more about the course. We have a lot of questions that are answered on the page that talks about it. We just linked that in the chat, both on the live stream and here in Zoom. If you'd like to go learn more about the course or enroll, you can click on that link, and there's a lot of information there as well. And if you have more questions or you need more help with anything, you can always reach out to our support team, support@holdenqigong.com. I think we'll post the email address there in the chats as well, so you can email them and they'll get back to you relatively quickly. We have a pretty fast response time. And I hope to see you all in the course as we start on Monday next week. And we'll send out the replay of today's training and the Q&A portion as well. That'll go out tomorrow, and the link and everything that you need to enroll in the course will also go out tomorrow as well. So you can expect to get that in your email inbox as well. So thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Lee. And we'll hopefully see you in class later if you're on our subscription, or next week for the first class of Iron Shirt. Thanks,
Fantastic,
everybody.
all. Thank you, Chen. Thanks, all.
See you, Lee.